everyone. Welcome back to Raize the Standard.
Oh, whoa. And the music, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
You're gonna have to cut that.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come in this place. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Won't you please come? Won't you please come?
I'm your host, Aisha.
And I'm your host, Ka-Rin.
And today's video is a little different. We want you guys to get to know us.
Exactly. So instead of talking about ourselves, we're going to talk about ourselves.
Oh. We're sisters. We're not cousins. We're not twins. We're sisters, just like your eyebrows.
Asa, what the crap? What the crap? Because why would you say that? All right, where are we from?
We're from the Boogie Down Bronx. So 4 years ago, we moved up here, upstate. And how are we liking it so far? I don't know. How do you like it so far?
Yo, the bugs?
Yo, that's the only problem I have. The bugs.
Anyways, so yes. So we're loving upstate.
Yeah, I love it.
We are loving
quick testimonial.
Where we live.
I prayed and I asked the Lord and I fasted for my own room because we grew up and we shared the same room whole entire life.
I was the best roommate ever.
She was okay.
I had no problems. I didn't steal her clothes. Never. Because do I look like I could fit her clothes anyways? I didn't steal her clothes. I didn't steal her makeup because
ironically enough, I try to take her clothes sometimes. What was it like growing up in the Bronx?
Ooh, growing up in the Bronx.
What it was like? Do you want to share your perspective first?
I want to share my perspective. Yes, because growing up in the Bronx,
have two different
I feel like growing up in the Bronx
could be the same.
There was nothing crazy about it because, you know, traveling and stuff, like getting on the trains, getting on the buses and stuff. It wasn't that deep. One thing though, you did have to stay diligent. You did have to, you know, watch your back. Yes. But like, we kind of knew God had us. Yeah. But of course, even then, you still got to watch your back. Like, all right, calm down. Like, you got to watch your back. But it's like, it wasn't like we were, we were just hyper vigilant. Yes. Like, that's all. We weren't fearful. We were just hyper vigilant. And, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of
the diversity.
People. It was beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Like crime, sure, whatever. I don't care. No, it's not that I don't care. Yeah. Of course, there are downsides to the Bronx, but it's like if you choose to look outside of that, you can see the diversity. You can see, you know, all of the good things that come with the Bronx.
Growing up in the Bronx, I thought it was such an experience. It was an experience. It was very different. Growing up in the Bronx, you know, you hear as many stories of those who did grow up in the Bronx very differently from ours, and everybody's experience is different. But you kind of hear a lot of traumatic stories.
Yeah. I must warn you, the odds against us returning alive are astronomical.
Big deal. I've been through the Bronx.
Growing up in the Bronx, it was pretty fun. Like my sister said, it was very diverse. I had so many different types of friends. I had Spanish, I had Indian, Albanian, I had Pakistani friends. I had so African. I had so many Jamaican. I had so many friends, you know, or I knew people. I wouldn't call them friends. But back then, when you're a kid, everybody's a friend. It's just how it goes. When you're a kid, everybody's a friend. But growing up in the Bronx, it was very fun experiencing different sides and cultures of the world in your own backyard, if you will. But I'm saying, growing up in the Bronx, you didn't have to travel just to experience different cultures. I absolutely loved it. Also, growing up in the Bronx, we lived in the Bronx and our church was in the South Bronx. So we, every Sunday after church or before church, would go to the deli. I extremely loved when the deli was just accessible. Like you just walk down the street and there's a deli. There could be a deli, right? Not even two delis right next to each other. Like makes no sense.
Corner.
Why is there a corner store next to each other? Makes no sense. But that's how the Bronx is, you know, exactly. That's how the Bronx was. There was just a corner store. I remember just being able to go to the corner store on a hot summer's day while we're in the park and getting the icy just for 75 cents.
Just random.
Like random. We could just be going to the park and just, those were the days. I'm sorry.
And now just you gotta take a 20-minute drive.
But I absolutely missed like those, just reminiscing. Those were the days.
Do you have any childhood stories of living in the Bronx that don't involve us? I'm joking.
So I actually do. Okay. I was on my way to one of my friend's house and we were all, you know, they picked me up from my house. We went to the deli, stopped by the deli before we went to her house. And I had my headphones in and I was listening to Ariana Grande. And as I was listening to Ariana Grande, I was kind of like deaf to the world. Because sometimes when I have my headphones in, I like to be deaf to the world. I was just singing. And the deli man, he come out of nowhere. He said something. He commented on my singing, but I don't know if you guys were listening or not.
He probably said it wasn't good.
I don't know. Because I wasn't singing too well. He was almost like, can you like shut up? Like he said something very subtle, but it wasn't, can you shut up? I wasn't hitting all the right notes, but I was doing it on purpose. I wasn't like, I was in between real singing and not singing at the same time. I guess he didn't understand that, so he thought I couldn't sing. He didn't say I couldn't sing.
He didn't say I couldn't sing.
So, I remember being really, really young. I'm going to say 7 or 8.
Yeah.
7 or 8. And I would walk down the road with, it was a long road to get to this library and then this park that's across the street from it. I would walk to that library and there would be a park that's like right there and they would have the sprinklers on. It would be like,
no,
it was
the
just
library
real.
in the park was in, oh no, there's two
So
different parks.
Right
Never mind.
There's
two different parks.
There was a quicker path for us to get to there, like just walking down our street and then going down towards it, right? But instead of what we did was walk all the way down another road to a big park, and then we would go up that block, and then...
Why are oranges called oranges, but an apple is not called red? Oh my goodness.
And then go to that little park, and then cross the street to the library. Of course, we're like 7 or 8, and then my youngest sister was probably like 4.
About.
So then you're right. I might have just been
9 or 10. There was one time where we did take him to the park. It was me, Shanika, and you, and I think Faith.
Off with
And
his nasty
she
brown
had-
stroller, man.
She had Taylor, but Taylor didn't have a stroller at that time,
Yeah,
so she was
we had
using
to
Taylor's
hold
stroller.
it. Yeah.
They could have actually sat in the thing there
They
together.
could have. They
We
was
didn't
not
even
big
realize.
babies.
They
bro.
weren't big.
Yeah. So growing up in the Bronx wasn't, it wasn't crazy or anything. It wasn't, you know,
We were really covered.
we were extremely covered. You know, we did see terrible things, and we did hear terrible things, and we did, you know, experience some terrible things in the Bronx. But that doesn't take away
Wasn't all bad.
from from the great experiences that we experienced in the Bronx. And yeah, so I just remember being really young, walking with my young siblings to the park. And what's crazy is I will see children now and I would be like, where are your parents? And I literally was one of those where are your parents kids. And like now in this day and age, I just would not allow my kids to do or any kids that I am watching over. If you are with me and I know you, or even if you are a stranger's kid, I am watching over you. You're a kid, you're getting protected because you don't know better. I do. I'm watching, making sure you made it across the street. But anyway, growing up in the Bronx, that's just the way, you know, we were raised. That's just the way it was. And it's not like our parents didn't worry about us, because I told my mom this story recently. Actually, I told both of my parents recently that me, Jonathan, and Faith were, you know, walking down the street by ourselves, going to the library, and they were confused. And I was like, hey, we asked y'all if we could do this. Like, y'all remember that? Like, I don't know if they don't remember.
But
anyway,
I would always... That's the thing. I don't know how she don't remember. Half the time I was always with them.
No,
I remember
you
going
were not
to the
with
library.
us half the time, bro.
Yes.
No. And then also I remember us also playing in the fire hydrants when we were younger. That was the best. Oh my gosh.
Really,
and there was a fire hydrant right in front of our house.
Yeah.
And literally we would go in it. Yeah. Literally. And I would just be like,
that was so
like,
fun.
look, this is our pool.
We'd be like, yo, the fire hydrant's on.
Right. And we would turn it on. We would turn it on ourselves. I remember we were bad.
We would like really try and turn it.
Oh my gosh. And I remember sitting on the balcony and there was a family above us and a family below us. And this was a house apartments. So there was a family below and above, and we had a balcony, and we would always just sit and talk to the family above. And I remember my little sister had beef with the little sister upstairs.
When I leave, you want to keep doing this. But then when I come around, you don't want to post up.
And it was just, like before, I was ride or die. Like, nah, you're not going to talk to my sister like that type stuff. But now I'm looking back on it like, was it ever that serious?
No.
It was never that serious, bro.
I mean, maybe the concept
of we have beef with this little girl.
Maybe the concept of looking out for your siblings.
Oh, definitely,
making sure, because that's like that's also building character.
Exactly.
Too, as
well. It was hilarious. And I remember I had a crush on the brother downstairs.
I did too. But it was very short.
It was short-lived. It was. So, how old are we?
I'm 26.
And I am newly 24.
Ah, woo! Today's her birthday.
And I am number 5 of 8. Oh my gosh, shocker.
And I am 3 of 8.
Oh my gosh, shocker. Anyways, yeah, so growing up in a big family was not, I'm not going to say it's the best thing in the world, and I'm not going to say it's the worst thing in the world, because guess what? It was neither of those things.
Yeah.
It's just the hand you was dealt, and you dealt with it. Like, because I hear some stories, man. I hear stories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, that wasn't because your parents had a bunch of kids. That's because your parents are terrible people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not hard to have a lot of kids and be involved in each and one of their lives. It's not hard.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is the main one.
It's not hard.
And then when you teach your kids, and of course our parents decided to do things with us individually, but when you teach your kids that, hey, this community of people that you literally were born with, is a good thing. When you teach them that and you teach them how to cultivate it.
When you get older, you guys are only going to have each other. That's how our parents taught us. She said, our mother taught us, she said, look, when you get older, who cares about friends? Friends are going to come and go. But your sisters, your brothers, they're going to be here to stay. Exactly. Your parents, they're going to be here to stay. Even if you have the biggest fight with your siblings. We always over fought. Some stupid mess. It's like joking. We still fight today. Hello, exactly. We still do. I think even when we move out, obviously there's going to be fights. Like, bro. I try to keep the peace sometimes. I try to keep the peace, not even sometimes, all the time. I'm the peacemaker. No, I'm joking. I try to keep the peace. But they like fighting with me. Not joking. They like fighting. She truly is the peacemaker. Yes, they like. But she likes to fight with me the most because. So growing up in a big family, yes, when you teach your kids that there's these people that you grew up with and that you know and you love are, this is your community. This is your community. Community starts at home, and when you cultivate the sense of family and community early on, not later on. When everybody's starting to fight and you're like, why are my kids? Because you didn't do it when they were kids. Now they think. That's also one of the reasons why I believe that, and I'm not coming against friends and having friends, but a friendship is built within a sister or a brotherhood. I don't really like to claim friends or say that I have friends. I like to build sisterhoods and brotherhoods because at the end of the day, we're all going to be brothers and sisters in Christ. So why we can't just be brothers and sisters together? But communication is a big thing. Exactly. We are a heavy communicating family. We communicate too much. All day, every day. Yes, way too much. Sometimes that's one of the cons of living in a big family. You're never alone. I get my alone time. I don't know about this one. I get my alone time, but it's very short-lived. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's always somebody coming in your room, knocking on the door, asking for something. I think my room is the epicenter of everybody's nonsense. I go in Aisha's room and I bother her for no reason because she got that dog in there, number one, and I love my dog. Anyways, put my Walmart sign down. Anyways, it's so random. Yes, it's just, I think my room is the epicenter because number one, I got a fridge in here. Yes. Greedies. Yes. They're hungry. And then also my sister just moved in here. My younger sister just moved in here with me. We like bothering her. She's funny. We like bothering her. I spent years living with my older sister, and now I gotta stay with my younger sister. What does that say? The middle children treated terrible. Oh, don't. But anyway. So yes. So growing up in the big family was neither here nor there. It was literally just. It wasn't all bad. And even though. And I'm going to go back to us living in the Bronx. We shared one bathroom most of our lives. Everyone says, poor? No. Everyone, now we have a lot more than we could have ever asked. The Lord he's ever so gracious and ever so kind. Talk about it. Because having 3 bathrooms and we're still, no.
Open the door.
Alright, go ahead. Sorry.
But anyway, because I have a preference. Anyway, now we're able to have preference. Anyway,
which bathroom do you prefer?
But back then, everyone's like, upstairs. Wait, 12 to 10 people living in one house with one bathroom. 12? How do you guys? They would be like, what? How do you guys share a bathroom? It actually wasn't that bad. Growing up, it really wasn't that bad. How about for you? Because it wasn't that bad for me.
It was kind of bad as far as the bathroom situation because, man, when I had to go, it was like somebody was on that toilet. I'm cutting that out heavy. Anyways, so what's it called? So we would have to wait. There would be, I kid you not, there would be a line out of the bathroom. Inside that we would walk away from the bathroom and then just fight each other to get to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
that was
when
the
we came back
worst.
from restaurants and we
Oh
would
my
eat
gosh, or
something
every
that
trip
would
at
not agree with
all.
all of us.
Yes, every single one of us. And then we would have to wait for one.
That was funny.
And man, so now that we've talked to you guys a little about, you know, where we were born, where we were from, giving little stories here and there about, you know, what our childhood is like, you know, in a big family. So we are going to move on to the fun facts portion.
Ka-Rin, what is your favorite snack?
So my favorite snack is lasagna. And no, that's a whole meal. All right. My favorite snack, I don't have a favorite snack. I like snacks, right? But I'm starting to hate sweets, and that's all snacks are now. So,
I don't have a favorite snack. I like food. So it's like, I don't have a favorite snack. If you were to give me, I don't know. If you gave me,
Not
potato
particular.
chips.
Oh yeah, she likes.
I like
potato
regular
chips.
potato chips, and that's my favorite snack. So, Aisha, what is your favorite snack?
My favorite snack at the moment.
At the moment is good because
yeah, at the moment is these peanut brittle candies. Like they're called munchies or munchers. They're so good. And then I also like chocolate pudding.
chocolate pudding. You ready? Mm-hmm. It's a little mukbang. At the moment, it's chocolate pudding. Alright, well, next question. What is the best dish you can cook? Lasagna.
Me, on the other hand, I'm a great cook.
I mean, you are. You just don't cook.
I just hate cooking. And I need a recipe to cook. I need to follow a recipe. I'm by the book.
Oh, this is not sponsored.
If you could have dinner with one person, living or dead, who would it be?
Maya Angelou. My goodness. Maya Angelou. And it always has been. And Cicely Tyson. Oh my gosh.
Those are good. Those are great
two,
people.
Since middle school, I've wanted to meet them, and then boom, both of them died, and I was like, "Excuse me, I didn't give you permission to die." But anyway, rest in peace. But so yes, I've always wanted to meet them because they were in. First of all, Maya Angelou, obviously a great poet, a great woman. Like, I don't know, she don't even have to write great poems to be a great woman. She was just like really wise.
She was super.
Really wise. And there's a lot of videos taking her wisdom out of context. And I'm like, y'all just don't know that old fashioned grandmother type stuff. Because when I get old, I am telling you,
I'm whipping people.
Y'all think I'm mean now?
I'm whipping people.
It's over for you.
I actually haven't really thought about it because obviously in the Christian world, anyone will say Jesus. I'm not going to say Jesus. I honestly haven't thought about it. I love having dinners in reality with my family. Maybe the sisters in my church that I really don't. I would really love to have a dinner with them. Just sit down and talk. True. There's a couple of sisters that I would love to have some one-on-one with. Because I'm all about one-on-ones. I love getting people by themselves to see the true them come out. That's just my favorite thing. Because you don't, with me, and I'm realizing every time I have a conversation with someone, they realize they don't have to be someone else in order to. They can just be themselves.
You don't have to impress me.
They don't have to impress me.
Don't lollygag. You get what I'm saying? Like when people are like, oh, I can be myself around there, and then you farting and being weird.
Oh, yeah.
I might start farting. If I cut some, you promise not to tell anyone?
Yeah, don't go the extra. No, I'm joking. You can fart.
Hold on.
Just be a lady about it.
Bad.
And say, excuse me.
When you're like a terrible person because you don't think that I'm somebody worthy of showing the best to. All right, we off track. But still, like.
Yeah. But the sisters in my church. Yes. I don't really have anyone famous. Not Starstruck.
Yeah.
Maybe Bill Cosby. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
What do they call it? Ambiverts?
Both?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are ambiverts, so it's nothing new. But I think, yes, I think I am an ambivert. I think I'm both. You know, like at home, I am very extroverted, and then outside, it's either or. It's like based on the environment. Like I can be extroverted
That is
one
true.
day,
It's based on the environment.
and then like you're always gonna get the same Ka-Rin, right?
Yes.
But you're not gonna get a different Ka-Rin, right? But it's like it depends on my energy level that day. Like, am I feeling like, you know, socializing? Sure, I'll socialize.
Yeah.
But if I don't feel like socializing, I still socialize. I still make sure to socialize. I still make sure to, you know, talk to people, make them feel heard, make them feel seen. You know, I still do it because it's like,
yes,
on my bad days, it's like, obviously I want somebody to do the same for me. I don't want you to switch up on me. That's weird. So I'm like, I don't want to switch up on people. I'm not going to do that. So it's like, it depends. It's like, and I'm not saying that introverts or extroverts switch up.
No.
I'm saying that I'm just
we've met people who can switch.
Level. Yeah. It's just that I'm level.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I'm not spending too much energy on one thing, and I'm not putting too little effort on something. I'm going to be pretty level. You're going to get the same career.
I love that.
And what about you?
Am I an introvert or an extrovert? I think the same can go for the same thing can go for Ka-Rin. The same answer. Not really. I always thought I was an introvert, and I sometimes can be. It can go both ways for me. People need people. We each need each other. So I'm gonna have a conversation. I know how to converse. I know how to converse. I know how to talk. I know how to, you know, have a great conversation with someone. That's why I'm more V on V than texting. I feel like texting takes the essence out of having a real raw conversation. What's your favorite conspiracy theory? What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
My favorite conspiracy theory is that birds are not real. Now hear me out. Because somebody said, no, wait, that's not my favorite conspiracy theory. My favorite conspiracy theory is what's it called? What was that one? It's saying that there was white people who put on black masks, and like some black people are not real.
Where are you getting
that?
from?
Yes, because man, don't ask me. So I was watching this video, and it was a conspiracy theory that there are white people who are putting on black masks, right? And they're parading around as black people, and they're just doing like nonsense. No, because what the
I'm very like,
bro. Anyway, sorry, we lost the plot. Sorry, go ahead. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
I don't really have one. Maybe the Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat.
She's one of them people.
Always has been.
Charlie, that's not Earth, right? That's completely flat. That's 100% flat.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I like 3 words. I don't know. It's giving you time to think. I'm gonna say.
I can already describe myself in 3 words.
Oh, so then you go first. Give me time to think too.
Describe myself in 3 words: patient, kind, and loving.
Who is she? Jesus? Patient, kind, and loving? Get the
Why you have to go that deep?
I'm sorry. You said patient, kind, and loving. You know what?
Yeah.
It's true. It's
patient,
true,
kind, and loving.
All right, who's not gonna think Jesus? Like, come on now. All right.
Anyway.
So I figured out mine. And mine is 4 words. And it's not like other girls. So I'm not like other girls, guys. I'm like funnier or whatever.
Yeah, she's
and I'm
hilarious. She's
like
hilarious.
pretty or whatever, but like not trying too hard.
Oh!
And like like it's so clear that I don't try too hard. I don't even wear makeup. Like, so next question.
It says, "Oh no, there's a spider in the house. What's your?"
You already know what's the move with the crap. Go ahead. With the crap. You don't have to ask that question. Like,
I literally. Have you ever become instantly invested in the fate of a TV show character?
Yes.
All the time.
Extremely. Like, I like everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm still not like other girls. But like everybody else in the world.
She's just a no.
It's like. All right. Anyways. So yes. So yeah. So I have become invested in several characters. Like everybody else in the world, I like The Office. And like everybody else in the world, I like anime. And like everybody else in the world,
but she's
I like
not
the Bible.
Like other girls.
But the one thing, right, that truly had me at the edge of my seat was when I found out that the main character of the Bible died. I was like, no, what? No,
yo.
My God, he's dead! No!
Bro, the main character dying.
To be something too.
The Bible gotta be bold for that.
Oh no.
The Bible gotta be bold for that.
It was the one with the children and they was getting eaten.
Oh,
that's. I mean, that sounds bad.
They don't like.
But it had to be
People
on the
like
edge
that
of
one.
my
But I like
seat.
that one.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that?
It had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I promise.
Like I was like it was sad. It was really sad.
Season 2, as much as nobody likes it, I like season 2, and I like season 1. It had so much more
white-haired
potential.
Kid is living.
Yeah. You didn't see that, did you?
No.
You didn't watch season 2 with us. They say he's alive and he's. Anyways, I can't say it.
The show that had me really intensely invested in the fate of the character of the TV show. Oh, Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
One of my favorites all time. Grew up with that show. Loved that show. Never let that show go. Legends of Korra, I'm kind of like leery of because I don't like what they did towards the end. But I'm never gonna let Last Avatar go.
Yes.
All right, next question. Which TV or movie character do you identify with and why? I don't know if you guys ever seen the remake of the 2015 Cinderella. I don't identify with her because obviously I'm not a peasant maiden.
We do make her do the most work, so obviously she is the peasant of this house.
They don't make me do anything. I do it.
We do.
The
She's
joy
a peasant.
of the Lord. Anyway, I love that movie. I'm really recently into that movie because it just stands for a lot of what I stand for. I love the way that movie was just executed. Like, okay, we all know Cinderella was a kind heart, but how was she kind? Yeah, she took care of a couple of mice and didn't kill them. Who cares? But how was she kind? In this remake of 2015 Cinderella, she gave, obviously her fairy godmother was in disguise, and she said, "Can you offer me a drink of milk or water?"
Excuse me. Can you help me, miss? Just a little crust of bread or better, cup of milk?
Homegirl didn't even hesitate. She said, "Yeah, man, I'll give you some of that." And she was all down. And she was like, she was going through. Her stepsisters and her stepmother done ripped up her dress. She was excited to go to that ball. She was like, "Look, just because I'm going through something, I ain't gonna discourage another. I ain't even gonna." So that's what I really not identify.
You're stronger than me.
I love that movie because it really exudes kindness. What type of music do you like the most?
So my favorite type of music is all music. I can tell you the least favorite music because I like everything, but my least favorite, and I will never get into, is heavy metal I will not get into heavy metal. I will not get into anything where you're screaming in my ears. That is not music. And maybe if you want to add a little scream to your song,
yeah,
okay, but at least the rest of the song got to be something else. We not. I like headbanging music, but I don't like heavy metal.
I'm mostly today into different types of language music.
Yeah.
I love, like, recently I just found
K-pop.
No,
I'm joking.
I like it has to be Christian, first of all. Most of my music is Christian. I recently just strayed away from worldly music. Not recently, but yeah, secular music. Of course, here and then I love to hear my 90s, 80s, or that old-timey 60s, 70s. Oh, I love those type of musics. But I'm a classical head. I love classical. Give me some Beethoven, some Mozarts, even though these are just though these are some, what is it, cliche, type of
I mean, they're
artists,
the bigs, but
they are the bigs.
reason.
But I give me some Moonlight Sonata or some Fairlice or some what is there are a lot that I love.
Is the best trip? What was the best trip you've ever taken?
The best trip I've ever taken was with my family when we went to go see our grandmother in Florida. That was an awesome trip. I absolutely loved it. We went to the aquarium. Where else did we go?
We went to the aquarium. We went to downtown Disney, I think, again. So for me, the best trip that I've ever taken, even though what you're about to hear is really silly, but and it shouldn't seem like it, but was when I went to Maryland for a track meet trip. Like we went to, because me and my sister were on a track team as kids. Nothing serious. Yeah, it wasn't nothing serious. We were on a trip, on a track meet trip where we were in a tournament, and it was just a cute little tournament for kids to run and do whatever. And I was on the track. Actually, let me not go too fast. We went to Maryland, and this is the first time I had Chick-fil-A, and I was thinking that Chick-fil-A, man, I was like, Chick-fil-A was the best chicken that I ever had because it was real, it was yummy. It does not compare to what they have now because now it doesn't taste the same. But just like every fast food restaurant, I was like, I'm never eating McDonald's ever again. Right? So on this trip, I was midway around the track, and I had these other girls, and I wasn't fast. I just liked running because obviously I'm a kid, but I wasn't fast by any means. And then but I was running with the other little girls, and there was some behind me. There was some. Oh, I did a little bit, but there was some behind me, some above me, right? And I stopped in the middle of the track. And I heard somebody call out. They was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, oh my goodness!" And I had bubble guts, bubble butts, all of it. That Chick-fil-A got to me. It was the milk. I think I had something with milk, and oh lord, and it got to me, and I had to poo. But long story short, this was the best trip because it was fun. We
just
had
experiencing it as a kid.
Yeah, just going to another state as a kid that wasn't Florida.
I think that was
It wasn't just Florida and Jersey
we went to
and
Virginia,
everything, and Connecticut, everything around New York. Just going to a different side. You know what I'm saying? But the next one is, what is your biggest pet peeve? My biggest pet peeve is, is just just feeling grimy in my fingers.
I hope they're not dirty.
Like, it's like if my hands are filthy, it's something about it. It's like if my nails are dirty and I'm like, oh my gosh, no way, I have to clean it. And if my hands are sticky, I have to go in that bathroom and clean my hands because it's just so gross to me.
My biggest pet peeve is dirtiness. I just don't like being around dirtiness.
And I guess we get that from my father. Oh, were you well behaved in school or were you a troublemaker?
I was a little bit of both. When I was in elementary school, I kind of like had my like not ways, but I'm gonna give you like an example, a little story. So there was this one time I was in 4th grade, right? And my 4th grade teacher was new. She didn't know any, like it was her first year being there and her last. She was there for 1 year.
God.
Yeah,
What
1 year.
do?
I don't think we did anything. I don't even know. But it was her first and last year, and I was just having a day where I just was like, I want to go home. And so I crawled under the desk and I was screaming and crying. I said, I don't want to be here. She was trying to console me. She's like, all right, like, what do you like want? I was just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. But then at the end of the day, we became best friends. Like, you know, me and my 4th grade teacher.
Oh my God.
I chilled and I cooled it and I came from under the table and I was okay. But
wow, that makes my story sound tame. But yeah, I would say that I was definitely a troublemaker as far as with teachers, but then I was tame and kind of well behaved with my friends. So like with my teachers, I would have screaming matches with them, but not like what Aisha said. We would be back and forth yelling with each other, like, I don't want to do this, and sit down, do your work. No, like literally, that's elementary school, and that literally, like what she said, the teacher became my favorite teacher. I wouldn't say I was their favorite student, but I feel like I was. But man. But then in middle school, I used to bully this teacher. I don't know how they had this little 12, 13-year-old Ka-Rin bullying a teacher, but I did. I bullied this teacher, and I never apologized for it because he deserved it. Anyways, no, he didn't deserve it, but still, I bullied this one teacher, the gym teacher. I hated gym, hated it. As much as I loved physical activity, I hated gym. But anyway, weird. But and then I had a lot of teachers I just didn't gel with. I was just like, if you were a teacher that wanted to be friends with students, excommunicated. Communicated. On
the real, that is another pet peeve.
If you were a teacher that was trying to seem cool to us, gone.
Yeah, but if you was like one of those teachers who was like really cool and you just did
like you were just cool. A normal adult, I was like, okay. I could deal with that. And I had a teacher who everybody hated, and I loved her. Like loved her. And I was like, what's wrong with y'all? It's not that serious. Just because she asked y'all to sit down. And I should have, being the kid I shouldn't have liked this teacher. I should not. It should have been one of the teachers where I was like, she's mean. She tells me not to do stuff. And she was my favorite teacher. But yeah, it was kind of like that. But yes. So, I hope you guys have learned us just a little bit more. If you enjoyed this video and you learned us, or if you feel like you didn't learn us and there's something that you would love to know, ask below in the comments. Say hello.
Nothing. We're open books.
Yeah. I mean, we're open books, but
there are
don't ask me for my social security number.
Yeah, our lives are pretty private.
So just like, share, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.
Raise the standard. He's making a snowman.
Mommy. Hello. Hi. This is us hanging up in our spot where we go say.
Going to school? You are? And what are you going to do at school?
Please come.
Andrew, you missing all your chances. Look at this kid.
I'ma go to my place.
Don't record. Don't record.
Nobody's recording. Get it, Aisha. Ka-Rin, can you smile thing?
That's it!
What you mean that's it? You just started.